Hi everyone, welcome back again to my channel. If you haven't liked and subscribed, please do. Like I said in my previous video, I'm going to talk to you about the natural birth that I had, and everyone's experience is different. I decided while I was pregnant that I definitely wanted to have a natural birth, and I did everything I could in terms of reading and preparing my body for the natural birth. You can find videos on YouTube or whatever. All social media platforms have lots of information for you nowadays. This wasn't a decision, people think you're trying to be brave when you want to have natural birth. It really wasn't me trying to be brave or be strong. I actually am so scared of surgery and being cut. That's my son running around. But I did not want to be cut. I was afraid of that. So for me, the easier route was the natural birth experience. And I did find it empowering leading up to it and then afterwards as well. I really have nothing against people who decide to have Caesars and people who feel that that's what's best for them. But it wasn't what I wanted to do. So anyway, natural birth for me, I was giving birth at Genesis Maternity Clinic, and there you birth with a midwife, and I had a doula as well. A doula is someone who really just is there to support you during labor. So just to comfort you, give you water if you need water, give you Lucozade, rub your back if you need to, put up your camera if you want the experience recorded. Whatever, cool you down, give you nice things to smell that's supposed to calm you down during this process. I was induced, like I said in the previous video, and induction is said to be harsher on your body than if you weren't induced because the contractions come in so much closer. So it was quite a rough experience. I started induction medication in the evening and about 12 a.m. and by 2 o'clock the next day I was heading to the maternity clinic. It's close to Zoo Lake, so we took a walk around there. It's a very beautiful experience really if you look at it. Never mind the pain that you're feeling, but looking back it's a beautiful experience. And so this was the Thursday I started taking the medication. Friday I went into the clinic and baby was only born Saturday morning. So really, really painful experience. After birth I said never, ever, ever again. I really felt like with the line, I was on heaven's gate. I was knocking on heaven's gate. It's really something no one can explain to you, but I really feel that our bodies are created as women, created to go through this process, because here I am less than 2 years later and I opted for natural birth again. So it really couldn't have been that hard. With my second birth, I felt more anxiety leading up to the birth. I felt more prepared really the first time. Second time round, I felt more anxiety, so I did a lot more research. I did a lot of listening to hypnotherapy, audio tapes. My doula this time would give me affirmations to just put up on my wall to read, things like your body is designed to do this, you can do it, you're strong, let your body just open up, relax, and things like that. And I really found, it might be hippish, like people might say to me, but I found it empowering, and these things really helped me. I wasn't induced this time. I was told that baby would come earlier. Baby waited until 40 weeks plus 3 weeks, 40 weeks plus 3 days, and came naturally. I was so excited for any pain I'd get. So I'd wake up, now I think I was just dreaming, but I'd wake up like, oh, I think my back is sore, and I'd be like, yay, my back is sore, and it really wasn't. So the day that I went into labor, I was feeling pain, but I kept quiet about it. I didn't tell anyone, and I wasn't sure, am I imagining this or is this real? So my husband was at work. He'd asked me, are you okay? But he was annoying anyway in those end days. Because if I wasn't okay, he'd be like, oh, or he'd be like, okay, shame, can I bring you a hot water bottle? I really wanted him to hold me or to rub my back, and he was not about that life this time. Anyway, so I kept quiet the day that I was feeling pain, feeling a little bit of something coming on. When he got home, I let him take our son inside, and I took a walk around my garden. And I was just listening to these hypnobirthing tapes and walking around and trying to just calm myself and breathe through it and prepare really how I would be breathing the baby out and breathing the baby down. And when I was done walking, I bounced on my ball a little bit and I came inside. Still, he didn't know anything. I think he felt like it was just one of those days where I was maybe being dramatic. He thinks I'm very dramatic. But I went to sleep, and at 11 o'clock I felt pains, and it woke me up out of my sleep, and I thought, oh, this is something. I'm not imagining this. I can feel it, but it doesn't feel like I'm really need to go to the hospital. So maybe it's Braxton Hicks. Previous birth I didn't have Braxton Hicks leading up, so I didn't know what it was. And then the pain was just becoming too much. I decided to run myself a bath, and I got into it. So I tried to relax and then do my breathing exercises, and I felt it coming on. Now that day, I'd also downloaded the contraction timer. So in the bath I was putting on this timer, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is 15 minutes apart. I expected if I'm thinking something's happening, it should at least be like 2 hours apart or whatever, an hour apart. But I'm like, this is 15 minutes apart. And when I looked again, it's 10 minutes apart. Then I started freaking out because the hospital is very far. I live in the East Rand in Bartlett, Boksburg, and it would be a long trip to the clinic. So I started calling for my husband, and of course he wasn't hearing me, and that was frustrating me, and he wasn't prepared because he didn't have a bag packed, and he needed to obviously stay with me. I would need my mom and sister to come and stay with my son. So there was a lot that I needed to prepare, and now I see that 10-minute contractions are coming in 10 minutes apart. So I literally was screaming to what I thought was the top of my lungs. My son was sleeping in the room. My husband was there. It's in an in-suite, so it's not like it's very far. I would take anything I could, throw toilet paper against the door because he wasn't waking up. Eventually he woke up and he's like, oh, do you need help out of the bath? And everything. He could do nothing right at this stage. I was freaking out. I was in pain, and I didn't know how to deal with this pain now because I thought he's not prepared, so I need to think of everything. My doula, who I knew would be more prepared, wasn't around. Sorry for the sound, guys. There is an aircraft going past, but he needed to do all of those things, like call the midwife, check when we needed to go in, pack his bags, take my bag, get my mom to come in, and I felt like I needed to still be in control of all of this stuff. Eventually at past, my mom and sister got here within 10 minutes, I think, of us calling them. And my husband was packed up and we headed to the hospital. Shortly after, the doula was there. And then my midwife came and it was time to deliver. The hospital was really full at that stage, so the room that I booked was full and I needed to birth somewhere else. So I started feeling like now I'm starting to lose control of this experience that I wanted. But I needed to just now focus on the pain that I was feeling, and then getting baby out. Baby was relaxing too much in the tummy, and they suggested I have something to eat. Now, if you ever had contractions, you don't want to be told to eat something when you're not hungry. Anyway, my doula and husband forced me. He came back from the shops with like anything and everything I could eat. Lucozade to drink, chips, biltong, sandwiches, roti, jelly sweets. And they were just like shoving these sweets down my throat, really. I did vomit. I think that was just too much for me. So I was like, bring the bin, and I vomited. And then when my midwife got there, she checked me and I wasn't far along enough to actually start pushing baby out. There's a lot of technical things I think that happen in between, but I'm just going to sum it up. I wasn't ready to start pushing baby out. So we had to wait a little bit. Then she ran the bath water, and once the bath water starts running, it's time. It's almost time to give birth. Anyway, I got into birth. That was beautiful. My doula had put up my affirmations on the wall. I had lights up. I had my hippie music going. And I was relaxed as much as I could in between the contractions. Baby was, I started pushing at about 5:15 and 6:30 in the morning, Saturday morning. Baby was out. I gave birth to my second son, baby Jet. And he also weighed 3.9 kilos. He was also born at 6:30 in the morning like my first baby. And yeah, that was really my natural birthing experience. If you have any questions about it, I know I've left out quite a bit. If there's anything specific you'd like to know, please ask questions. Leave your questions in the comment section below. And if you haven't liked or subscribed to my channel, please do so. And see you later with more videos. Bye.